Hi and welcome back. Let me show you what we're going to implement in this and the next lesson. When we start typing the name of a city, for example London, the list of possible cities should appear. Every time we add a new letter, we get a new list of suggested cities. We can select one of the cities. Let's select London, England, United Kingdom. And we've got the weather data for London in the UK. So let's implement this. Google for Teleport API. Click on the first link. It is written that, ever needed to make sure your users provide an existing real city as an input to their location field? So click on City Name Search. As you can see, it is exactly what we need, because we can search for a city and we get a list of suggested cities. To implement this functionality, we need to make a request to this URL. So copy the URL. Then create a variable called CityBaseEndpoint and assign the URL to the variable. When the user is searching for a city, the URL will be changing. The URL is going to have a question mark and the word search, and then the name of the city will be added at the end of the URL. When do we need to make a request on the variable CityBaseEndpoint? When something is being typed in the search box. In other words, when the event is input, then these actions have to be taken. Let's make a request on the URL. So we type in letResult equals to fetch search input.value. We need to add the word await before the fetch function. And before the function, we add the word async. Now let's turn the result into a JSON object with the help of the JSON function. Well, we can wrap this in the parentheses. Then add the await keyword. And right here, just add .json. So first, this part of the code will be executed. And only then the result will be turned into the JSON object. The JSON object will be assigned to the variable called result. Let's display the JSON object in the console and see what we will get. Open the console. Refresh the page and type in the letter L. We've got a message that says URL scheme must be HTTP or HTTPS. Aha! First of all, we need to create an endpoint. So we type in letEndpoint equals to CityBaseEndpoint plus searchInput.value. SearchInput.value is the city which the user typed in the search box. And we pass the value of endpoint to the fetch function. Let's check it out. This time we've got the JSON object. So count 25, which means 25 cities. Inside of the key called embedded, we have another key called city search results. And here's an array of 25 elements. Every element of the array has matching full name and links. In the links we have the URL with the information about the city. So if it is Lagos, Nigeria, we use this URL. And as a result, we've got detailed information about the city. Let's add several letters to the letter L so that we have the city London. The city London consists of 6 letters. That's why we have 6 objects. The first object stores the list of suggested cities when the user types in the letter L. Then the second object stores the list of suggested cities when the user types in 2 letters, LO. The third object is for LON, and so on. In the last object, we got 20 cities with the name London. London, England, United Kingdom, London, Ontario, Canada, and so on. Now we need to take 5 cities out of these 20 cities and show them as the list of suggested cities. So to do this, we need to use the special HTML tag called datalist. Let's create the datalist tag and we have to set the ID for it. Let's call it suggestions. We're going to have the option tag for each suggested city. For example, we create the option tag with the city name London. Then we create the option tag with the city name New York. Now, to connect the datalist tag to the input tag, we need to add the attribute called list. And then we need to set the ID of the datalist tag as the value of this attribute. Save it, and let's see what we'll get. As soon as I clicked on the search box, the two suggestions appeared, for London and New York. So we've just manually created the two option tags inside of the datalist tag, and that's why we see London and New York as the suggested cities. But we need to make it so that the suggested cities are being taken from the database of Teleport. In other words, we need to implement this functionality with the help of JavaScript. Alright, let's do this. For this purpose, we search for the datalist tag by its ID name. So we type in letSuggestions equals to document.querySelector and then the ID name, which is suggestions. Every time, before adding new option tags to the datalist tag, we need to delete all the option tags. We can do this by assigning a pair of empty quotes to suggestions.innerHTML. Now, to take 5 cities, we write letCities equals to a result. Let's check in which key the cities are stored. In the key called embedded. Please notice that the underscore has to be added before the word embedded. So we add the underscore and then the word embedded. Next, we need to use the key written as the word city, then column, and the word search results. Since the column symbol is used inside of the name of the key, instead of the dot, we set a pair of square brackets. And then we specify the name of the key wrapped in single quotes. Inside of this key, we have the list of cities. Let's make it so that when there are more than 5 suggested cities, only 5 cities will be displayed as the list of suggested cities. If the number of cities is less than 5, for instance 3, then only 3 cities have to be shown. To implement this, we create a variable called length. I'm going to use the ternary operator. So if cities.length is greater than 5, then 5 cities have to be shown. If less than 5 cities, then cities.length. Now that we know the number of cities based on this data, we can add the option tags. So we use the for loop, from 0 to length. First of all, let's create the option tag by typing document.createElement option. To set the value for this option, we type in option.value equals. The necessary value is stored in the key called matching full name. That's why we add cities I and then .matching full name. Now we need to assign the value of this to suggestions.innerHTML. So we type in suggestions.appendChild option. Let's check what we have so far. We still have the names of the cities London and New York because we manually added them in HTML. Go to the HTML file and delete them. I type in the letter L, and the list of suggested cities is displayed. When we have LO in the search box, we see another list of suggested cities. So every time I add a new letter, the list of cities is being updated. Select London, United Kingdom and hit Enter. Let's press the Enter key one more time, and we see the weather data for London. Let's search for New York. Select New York and hit Enter. And this time we got the error message, City Not Found. In the next lesson, I will explain why that happens. So see you there.